Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to get Governor Whitman and Administrator McCarthy to elaborate a little more on what they think needs to be done by the EPA with regard to climate change and science. So let me start with Governor Whitman. Do you believe that the current administration is doing enough to combat climate change? And if not, what is preventing them from playing a more active role?
Well, I think what we've seen from the administration is actually the opposite, when they have told scientists that they can't participate in various meetings that have anything to do with climate change, that they're not allowed to mention climate change in many of their reports. It's a denial that doesn't make any sense. We need to be at the table. It's understood, and the American people understand, that the climate is changing. We can debate over how much is human action or not, but we certainly know that humans are having an impact on the climate, and a serious one. We can't deny it. It won't go away because we're not talking about it. And unfortunately, what we're seeing today is there are a number of communications that have been put out and things have been made known to staff that they're not to engage in climate change, they're not to talk about it, and it's not just at EPA. DOA, DOE, we've seen it at the Department of Interior. Throughout the administration, there's the attitude that we don't want to talk about climate change, and that's going to hamper us in the long run from our ability to truly look at the science and see what's underneath it, see what can we do. We're not going to stop it. It's a natural phenomenon. We're not going to stop climate change, but we need to know what we can do to slow it down and how do we prepare for it, because it has very significant implications for us. New Jersey particularly being a coastal state, but it's a national security issue, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff have agreed that it's a national security issue, and actually it was Ronald Reagan, as I understand it, who put it on the National Security Council agenda for the first time. Not that he fully believed that humans were the cause, but he knew it was something coming at us that was important, and we needed to keep our eye on it, and I'm afraid we're taking our eye off that ball.
Thank you. Ms. McCarthy, what are your concerns about how this administration is using or not using science to guide its climate change policies at EPA?
I'm concerned that they're limiting science to disallow the agency from looking at some of the best science available. I'm worried that they're dismantling expert panels at a time when their expertise is needed most. I'm worried that they're looking at programs like New Source Review, which is a significant permitting program to ensure that excess pollution isn't unfettered. And they're under the radar screen doing memos about this and letters to industry without any potential for public input. I'm worried about many things at EPA now, about transparency as well as the science. I'm worried that they won't let academic scientists on the Science Advisory Board or expert panels if they've taken any resources in terms of grants from the agency, while they're not applying that same standard in terms of looking at all at industry scientists and whether they have potential conflicts of interest. I'm worried about the fact that there seems to be, industry communications in a way that's not made public. Decisions are being made by letters, by policies, by memo that normally would have had public interest, public participation, and should. And I'm worried about the fact that all of the ways in which the agency has traditionally, since the Reagan administration, looked at cost-benefit is being tossed on its head. We're throwing out the rules of the road that have given stability, that have taught the industry that they can rely on how we implement and enforce. I'm worried about enforcement. Enforcement now is the weakest it's been in 20 years. It's the lowest number ever in terms of civil penalties. That matters. It sends signals to the industry, and it upsets them. I'm really concerned about one more thing, if I may, because I know I'm taking probably too long.
No, go ahead.
But one other thing is that you have 3 rules: the mercury and air toxics rule. You have the clean car rules, and you have a decision to not actually move forward to regulate hydrofluorocarbons, where the industries themselves differ. The regulated industry differs from the agency outlook, and they're actually, look at the automakers, they're saying this is absolutely tremendously bad for them, for their profits, for their stability. I have never seen an administration come in and instead of having new policies, their sole goal seems to reverse everything that has ever been done. The instability in industry is palpable right now. The signal it sends is don't worry about anything, but you also can't have the guarantee of a level playing field. Those things are important.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So much.